Today I'm going to show you how to use the Lasso tool to cut out your objects that you're going to place on your game board. First of all, you need to select the correct Lasso tool. So if you go to the toolbox and click on the third one down and hold it, you'll see that there's actually three options for the Lasso tool. The one that we're going to use is the middle one. It's called the polygonal lasso. So I am going to start out with this cat, because it's a little bit simpler than the picture of myself, a little less complicated. So first of all, I am going to hold down the control key on the keyboard and hit the plus sign to make this large so that I can see better. Now I'm going to hold down the space bar, which changes the lasso tool into the hand tool, and I'm going to drag down the image to the place that I want to start. So you can see the tip of the lasso tool is the spot where you can click. So I'm going to click right here on the tip of the cat's ear, and you can see that now that spot where I click is stuck to the document. So now I'm going to stretch this tool along the ear and click again, and stretch down a little further and click again. And I'm just going to follow the outline of the cat's ears. Now, when you get to a sharp turn, you have to click a little bit closer together. However, you have to be careful that you don't click too quickly, because if you double click, Photoshop will end the selection, and usually that's not a good thing. So now where I'm going around this curve, in order to get a nice curve, I have to click close together, but where it's a nice straight line, I can actually click far apart. So where I'm going around this curve, click close together, but be careful not to double click. So going around the curve, click close together, and let's say, whoops, I accidentally clicked where I didn't want to in that spot. So what I can do is just simply press the backspace key, and it undoes the last step that you did. And you can actually hit the backspace key several times. So this cat is actually pretty simple. I'm going to hold down the space bar and turn the lasso tool into the hand temporarily so I can move the image, then let go, and I get my lasso tool back. But when you're cutting out something more complex, it can actually take a really long time, as much as half an hour, to do a really good selection. And it's definitely worth the effort to cut something out nicely. So when I have the entire cat selected, which I will in a few minutes here, I'm going to show you how to refine the selection even more. So now I'm going around the paws. Hold down the space bar, change it into the hand tool, and where it's curving right here, I'm going to click closer together, hold down the space bar, change it into the hand tool, and space bar, get the hand tool. And I'm not going to outline the individual whiskers on this kitty, because when I put her on my game board, she's going to be really small and you wouldn't see the whiskers anyway. So I'm almost finished. I'm clicking close together slowly. And I've had a lot of practice at this, so I can actually do these selections really quickly. It will probably take you a little bit more time if you haven't practiced. So you can see when I get back and to the beginning point and I touch it with the lasso tool, you get a little circle. and that means that you have completed the selection, and if I click that, then it changes into a complete selection. So now I want to show you this button right here. It's called Refine Edge. So I'm going to click that, and using this I can make my selection a little bit better. So I'm going to show you the different views. The default view is the one that it's on right now. Here's the quick mask view, so it puts red around my whole object. This puts black around it and white, and this reverses it. So depending on what is different images could require different modes. I'm going to stick with the quick mask mode for a minute. So let's look at this. Here's a smooth button. So if your selection was a little bit jagged in some places, you can move this slider around. And in general, you don't want to make huge jumps. You can see I just put this on 61 and it totally cut off the tip of the cat's ears. So you want to make small changes in this. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with 3. You could feather it a little bit. Feather means softening the edges, so maybe I'll put on a feather of about 1. And this contract or expand, so if I drag this all the way over to minus 99%, you can see that it's contracted the selection a lot, and that's cut off a lot of the cat, which I don't want. Sometimes you want to contract it just a tiny bit, maybe 1%. Just in case you didn't get the selection quite close enough, you can bring in the edges a little bit. So I'm going to click OK on that, and it's smoothed out my selection and refined it a little bit. So now I am ready to use the Move tool and drag this over to my game board. So if I look at this image here, I'm going to use this one also to put on the game board. And here's the already cut out version. What I want to point out is that when you're going for the realistic look, you have to be really careful that you also cut out the parts that, for example, underneath the arms. If I would have left the trees and the fence in my backyard, it would have been really obvious and looked really fake when I got down to the collage part. So that is the Lasso tool, and next video I'm going to show you how to put it all together. That's it for now.